got disconnected. So Pankaj, you're saying something. Go ahead with your first question, please.
Okay, first question is very simple. What is the difference between in written and print? Because I saw a video that someone say that return value
Okay,
give.
let me explain that, and
Huh?
then you just analyze what you are understanding like from the videos.
Okay.
Okay, so like print is kind of displaying the result on the screen. This is what the print is. Okay, wherever you write print, there at that particular point it will display the result on the screen. Okay, and return is the statement which returns the result where that particular function got a call. Okay, so you have defined a function, okay, for example at ninth line, and you are calling that particular function from 100th line. Okay, so so the function will be executed, and whatever the result will be there, okay, that will be returned to the 100th line. Are you getting it, Pankaj? So this is what the difference between the return statement and print statement. We cannot compare these two statements at all. This is not the like the concepts to compare. Both are having the different meanings. Okay, so let me give a simple example to you. For example, like there is one team, a software engineering team, right? And this team is actually dealing with the client end. Okay, so there are two chances. Okay, the team will work on a particular task. Once we perform all the tasks, we will let our manager know that we have performed our task, and then manager will intimate the client, right? The task has been completed, you can evaluate it. So this is the one way. Another way is like team itself will directly intimate the client that we have done this particular task, you can just execute it. These are the two scenarios. Are you agree with this, Pankaj?
Yes.
Yeah, so when we return the result, that means we are actually sending the result where that function got a call. Are you getting it? And at that particular point we will receive the result. And the second situation is the in function itself will print the result. There is no return statement. By default will return none. Okay, so whenever you want the result to be returned wherever the function got a call, then you can use this return statement. Otherwise, if you want the result instantly, then you can go for printing the result in the function itself instead of returning the value to wherever the function got a call. Okay.
Okay. But Jupyter Notebook and Google Software, which
Hmm.
and the IDE, I think,
Hmm.
is show the result of return. But there are many application which is not use this concept. It not show the result. That's why
Yeah. So
I don't know why.
everywhere, yeah, everywhere the result will be same, Pankaj. But if you write some function, okay, and then which does not return any value, for example, okay, and you are just calling that function, then it will not show none. But if you call that function within the print statement, then it will say none, because we are printing that right. By default it will return some none value, and then result will be printed on the screen. But if you are not printing that, you are just calling that particular function, then that is okay, right? We are not going to display that particular none. And in case of return statement, okay, so it's up to you, like whether to print the result or whether to save the result in a particular variable. That is up to you. Okay, so if you want to save, then go ahead and write down c is equal to function call. C will hold your the result which that particular function returned. Kind of manipulation you can do with this particular function. But if you talk about Jupyter Notebook, Google Colab, or ideally or PyCharm, everywhere the result will be same. It's not like it will display on this and it will not in another editor. It is not going to happen.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
And I have some question of the assignment, but if everyone is agree, then I can ask. If
Yeah,
someone is
we can
not
take
yet,
that later, like maybe after this
because
class.
someone
Yeah.
said that yet not complete the assignment. I don't want to spoil anything. If
Yeah, yeah. So
everyone is agree, then I can ask.
we will take these questions at the end of this particular session. We'll stop like before 15 minutes and we'll discuss this on this assignment like before 15 minutes only at the end
Okay.
of this particular session.
Also can explain me when we use the filter function, need to use the definition we put from and import every
Mhm.
time. It's compulsory or this is a temporary?
Which one? Which one? For
We use
filter?
filter like from fun tools
That is not
import.
for filter. That is for reduce.
Okay, that is for you. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
is for
it
you.
is compulsory. Yeah, because reduce function is present in functool module. That's why it is
E-
not in of like a core Python's function, but it is present in one of the external module that we need to import.
Func tool is a dictionary. The is a
It's a
library or
external
dictionary?
module. Yeah,
Okay.
module.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Then.
Hi, Amit sir.
Yes, Manish.
Sir, I just written two arithmetical function for lambda, but they just print one function's result. So how can I hold both data? I just send you on the chat that I
Yeah, yeah.
just uh,
Let me just
add and
check.
subtraction, but they just put a result on subtraction only. So
Yeah, yeah. Let me just check. Let me just bring the notebook up. I'll just tell you what is happening there.
define a different cell or
Yeah, just a second. Those who are having question apart from the assignment, you can put down in the chat, guys. We'll take that for 10 minutes and then we'll start with the new topic. Is that okay?
yes sir, sure.
Okay, let me share my screen. Uh, just let me know if you can see my screen. So it's working fine and it's also working fine. So what is the problem?
Amit sir, I've just
Just
defined in the one cell both add and subtraction. Na? So they just print last one subject subtraction. So that's why I told you okay, I have to hold
yeah, yeah, yeah.
this data in a one variable
So
or
so you have to print the result here. So here, it is returning the result, right?
yes,
So
yes.
you have to print the result here.
Okay.
Okay, in prints, it like what will happen? This will carry these two variable. It will go up. We'll find out this expression, right? And then it will just send it the result into add, and then we are printing it simply. So let me just give a try here, like printing both. Let's check. So this is 3, 2. And can you see like here is
Yes,
the
yes.
output we're getting? So
Amit
because
sir,
this
or
tool
we
is
can,
able to only print the latest, or we can say the last occurrence. Okay, if you are not writing print statement, then
okay. So we can also hold now in a variable. We can hold in add and subtraction in different variable, and then print both variable same time.
yes, definitely, yeah, you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Uh, any other question, guys? Otherwise, we'll move towards object-oriented programming. Oh, I can't hear you properly if you're asking, Mohammed Rizwan. Can you just be louder and ask your question again? Yes. Do you have any question, Rizwan? All right. Any question, guys, from Arjun? Do you have any question? You raised your hand. No question. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start with a very new topic, that is object oriented programming. Okay. So it's very simple and very useful, guys. So whenever you're solving actual real world problem, and whenever you're building your APIs and other stuffs, then you will be using this kind of uh, paradigm to just solve your problem, to optimize your code, and many more advantages are there for object oriented programming. So let me start with comparing what we are doing right now and what is object oriented programming is. Okay, so you have seen already, like we are writing the code step by step, right? We are writing first function and then we are using that, right? Or maybe if we compare the C programming, for example, we are having one very popular language, that is C, which is purely structured programming approach. Okay, and Java is pure, we can say, object oriented programming. But Python is not purely object oriented programming, guys, right? It is partially object oriented programming, but it supports most of the features from object oriented programming. Okay, so let me compare that. So when we talk about the structured approach, we need to go step by step, top down approach to solve the problem. We cannot or maybe it will be a very difficult for us to relate the real world problem. Okay, it will be very difficult for us to write that real world problem into the programming when we use structured approach. Okay, for example, suppose I have a class of 40 students, and I want to find out the behavior of every student. I want to find out the marks or the other kind of information of a particular student, or maybe I want to store the characteristics of a particular student, right? That will be a very hectic task when we just go ahead and implement that in a structured manner. Okay, so and that is again very difficult, which will take n number of lines to implement all these things. But there is very or maybe we can discuss some disadvantages of structured approaches, like security is very big concern of the structured approach. Even code reusability is not there in the structured approach. Even code optimization is not there in the structured approach. Okay, code we can say uh, like the real time scenarios will be very difficult to map, okay, using structured approach. So all these problems we can solve using object oriented paradigm, and um, and Python supports this particular paradigm, but not fully. But most of the features from object oriented programming will be there, in particular Python. So if those who are seeking for the interviews, and those who are actually preparing for interviews and other stuffs, so there will be an question about this, like how Python is not fully object oriented programming. Okay, that will see, guys, right? So there are some features of object oriented programming. If a particular language supports all these features of object oriented programming, then it is fully object oriented programming, guys. But Python does not support a few mechanisms from object oriented programming. That's why it is partially object oriented programming language. Okay, so let's understand in detail now what is this, and how, what is the approach. Like I said, structured is like top down approach. Okay, same. uh, and the object oriented programming uh, supports, this particular Python supports few of the functionalities. We'll see that. Okay, so let's understand this. So let me just open a new notebook and list out the object oriented features, right? So I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so very first is it follows bottom up approach. Okay, first point. Second point, it is very flexible. I will explain, guys, what exactly it is. Bear with me. Okay, then um, provides security. Okay, then code reusability is possible. Code reusability is possible, and many more features are there. Let's understand that. Okay, features of OOP, object oriented programming. Very first feature that we are going to discuss is object. The second feature we are going to discuss is class. The next feature that we are going to discuss is inheritance. The next feature that we are going to discuss is polymorphism. And then next one is encapsulation. Okay, these are the few features, guys, we are having that we are going to discuss. Even we have kind of, we can say, the abstraction. Okay, then yeah, these are the important
Construction, sir.
features of.
Construction.
No, that will be the another part. This is not the feature. Okay, these are the important one. We'll discuss that same concept in upcoming sessions. I'll tell you what exactly it is, but just note down all these features. Okay, these are the important features of OOP. All right, so let us discuss that. Okay, so let me just open. Very first is object. Okay, tell me, guys, in general, what is object? Just forget about the programming and other stuffs. Tell me what is object. Yeah, what
Sir,
is object?
anything which we can see and feel, like anything we can see, like pen or book or train,
Exactly, right?
metro.
It's an any real world entity. Is it right? any real world entity, right, which has its own property and behavior. Okay, it has own property and behavior. So this is what an object is, guys. Let us consider student. Is student is object, guys? Yes, right? Student is
Yes.
object. So let us write down example student. Okay, so student is having its own behavior. Student having its behavior. What is that? What will be the behavior? Just forget about the spelling mistakes, guys. What is behavior, like, uh attend class? Are you agree with this? Revise the topic, then
Read, write.
read, right? This is one. Then uh, maybe, many behaviors will be there, right, of a particular student. Now tell me students characteristics, or maybe properties, we can say. What will be the properties of students?
The
Student ID,
name, name,
name, address, yes
date
or
of
no,
birth,
DOB, then
gender,
marks, gender, then
class.
class. Okay, that means division, right? We'll write
Yes.
division here, or okay, sorry, division. These are the properties of, the student, right? So this is called, guys, object. Okay, now how we are actually, representing these object using programming, and that is why this particular popular paradigm we are having, that is object oriented programming. Okay, so we will be focusing more on objects. Object is nothing but real world entity which has its own behavior and, the property. So tell me, suppose I am having, for example, we have 100, students. So tell me, for 100 students, do we have the same kind of behavior and property, guys, for every student?
No.
No, right?
No.
We will have 100, different properties and behavior. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what main thing to understand. Okay, we will create a template, for example. Okay, and then we will instantiate this particular template for every student. Let us consider we for Facebook there are 100 users. Yes, or suppose consider for Facebook there are 100 users. Okay, so, or maybe let's continue with the students example. For every student there is profile. There is profile, right? So we need to create the account of every student. So the template will be same for each and every student, guys. Are you agree with this? Template to create the profile will be same, form to
Ye-
create the profile will be same for every student, but
Yes.
the information will be different, right? Information will be, for example, let us consider for student 1. For student 1, I have accessed the form, okay, which is already created by the software guy or the IT team. that application resides on the server. Now I want to create the profile of student first, so I will call this particular URL. I will open the URL and form will appear. Okay, for student one, I have opened the URL and started filling the form. Okay, uh, let us consider fill the form again. For the second student, what I will again access, I will again access same link, yes or no? I will again access same link and again fill the data. But can you tell me what is the difference between first and second?
So
I
their
have,
data.
yes, their data, right?
Information will be different.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So we have instantiated, we have created the separate instance for every student. Are you agree with this, guys? There is one software resides on the server. We are creating the different instances for each and every user. Understood? This is what the object is. This is what the object is, and this is object is nothing but what? Simple. It's an instance of class. Okay, it's an instance of class. Always remember. Now what is class here? So whatever we talk, like the application or template which is present on the server, that application or template is your class, guys. Okay, and we are instantiating that particular application n number of times if we have n number of objects. Understood, guys? Any question in this? Okay, tell me, suppose, can we create, how many objects we can create from one particular template? How many objects we can create from what particular template? Template in the sense, for example, let us consider the empty form of student profile. Okay, how many times we can call this empty form? N number of times. The number of students equal to the number of instances, yes or no? That number of
Yes.
times we can
Yes.
create this, we can access all these forms. This is why we can create n number of objects from class. Okay, we can create n number of objects from class. Now let us try to understand what is class is. Okay, I hope you understood what is object is. Just try to understand, it's a real world entity which has its own property and behavior. Okay, and that is again created by a class. Okay, let us understand now what is class is. So can anyone tell me now what is the definition of class? Can anyone tell me what is the definition of class?
And collection of objects.
Okay, so
It's
Monica
a
is saying
category
it's a
of
collection.
object.
Okay, so a category of object. Okay, Dipti, do you have any concern problem? What is that B 100 times? I am not sure what this is in chat, or it is by mistake. All right, no problem. So okay, so Monica is saying it's collection of object. Okay, so let me just give a simple example and then tell me, Monica, whether it is collection of object or not. Okay, let us consider I am the owner of one of the factory in which there is one machine which produces or manufactured the for example laptop. Okay, and let us consider like laptop is one object. Okay, and the machine which creates that laptop is a class. So tell me, Monica, whether that machine is collection of laptop, and when we press start button then one laptop is coming outside of that particular machine. Is it right? Is that machine is collection of laptop?
Machine, you are asking machine is the collection of laptop.
Is that machine is the collection of laptop?
Not getting exactly.
Okay,
Sir, can
so
you repeat the question?
yeah, let me repeat the question again. Okay, I am having one machine. Okay, that that creates the laptop, for example. Okay, so let us consider laptop as an object and machine is one class. And you said what? Class is the collection of object, right? So tell me now, as per your definition, that machine is collection of laptop. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely not, guys. Just try to imagine, is that machine contains n number of laptops and user is just pressing the button and one laptop is coming down. It's not like that, right? It is that machine is the collection of components, guys, right? Collection of raw material component, and all these component works together to create the object. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So definitely your class is not the collection of object, but it's the collection of properties and behavior that generates the object. Now are you agree with this definition?
Can we say it is a
Yes,
method?
sir.
Yeah, Vishal.
Can we say it is a method?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'll tell you that part also. Just bear with me. Now we are going in general, right? Behavior and the other stuffs. So we'll come to the terminologies of OOP later. Okay. Try to understand in general first. Okay. So as per like the explanation, class is the collection of properties and behavior that creates the object. Or the second definition is class is the template to create the object. Is it correct?
Yes, yes, it's
Yes.
Okay, class is the blueprint to create the object. Is it correct?
yes. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so that means class contains different properties and behavior that works together to create the object. Now let me just give a simple example. Class student, okay, is one of the class. In that will define the different properties and behavior of the student, right? And whenever new student comes, that the data will be filled in that particular position and that new objects will be created. Are you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, let me visualize that to like for more clarity. Just give me a second. um, let me just open the paint. I hope you all can see the screen now, the paint application.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let us create one this. Let us consider this is what my machine is. So machine in the sense what, guys? What is machine now here in our case? It's a class.
Maybe the machine which is used to manufacture laptop.
Right. So that machine is nothing but what? In our case now class. This is my class is. The entire square will be my class. Okay. Now my class name is what, guys? Student. That means my machine name is what? Student. Now as we said, like this is the template to create the object. Okay. So let us create one object. Okay, let us create one object. This is my object. Let me give a name to this object, that is S1. This is my first object, guys. Student 1. This is general name, that is, student. Now let's give the first student name, that is S1. So student is having what, guys? Student is having, tell me properties of student. ID, yes or no?
Name, address,
Name, for
address,
example, Amit is my name, and let us say
Date of birth.
here
Date of birth.
age. Yeah, there will be like n number of properties. So let us say age will be for example 30. Okay, so these all are what the properties of the student. Agree? The same behavior of the student. For example, uh, study is one behavior. Okay, then we are having uh, bunks. Class bunking is the another behavior of the student, right? Then we'll be having what, uh, for
Attendance.
attendance is not the
Sir,
behavior.
submission, assignment, test
Yeah, we
appear.
can say submission will be there.
Grades.
Let us yeah, so you can define a number of like behavior, right? But let us consider these two are the behavior of the S1 student. Okay, so here student is my class. Now student has defined these properties and these two behaviors. Okay, so three properties and two behavior of a student class. That means we have defined one blueprint, we have defined one template, that whenever we will create the new student, that student will have these properties and these behavior. So now I have created another student S2. So tell me for S2 what will be the properties, guys?
Same, sir. Name, age,
Yes,
height.
ID, name, age.
ID. Suppose I am giving another value, that is 2, right? Name, suppose I am giving XYZ, right? And then age will be another one, for example 25. And then what will be the properties, guys?
Study.
Property will be same, right? Property will be same, but based on, sorry, a behavior will be same, but based on the property that student will behave, right? Okay, so this is how. Now tell me, is student is my template, guys? Yes, definitely. In that
Yes, sir.
template, how many properties I have defined? ID, name, and age.
Age.
How many
Properties.
behaviors I have defined? Study and bunk.
Trunk.
Okay, so these all properties and behavior will be same for every object, but the values will be different based on the student. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and now suppose I am creating another object. So for this I will be giving name S2, sorry, S3. We cannot have same name, okay, for this object. Again I'll be having what, three properties. So tell me how many instances I have created for student?
Three.
Three
Three
instances. Three.
instances.
Three.
Three instances, right? S1, S2, and S3. And this is called objects, guys. Object is the instance of class. Okay, object is the instance of class. This is one definition of object, and we can create n number of instances, okay, to um of a particular class. Okay, now tell me, guys, suppose I want to access the properties of first student, then how we can do that? Can I
Would
just
be,
do like this? For example, print for example ID. Is it possible, guys? Suppose I want
no,
to
no,
access the S1. Is it possible?
no, no. It should be class name dot
Yeah.
object name.
So see, guys, suppose I am just printing print ID, then my print function will get confused. Which ID I should print? Are you agree with this?
Yes.
Which ID we should print, right? So this is not the right way to access the properties. Even suppose I want to access the behavior of the S1 student, so can I just write study here and then I will be, ready to access the behavior? Definitely not. Again my compiler or interpreter will get confused which study I should call, of S1, of S2, or of S3, right? So for that there is one simple, you know concept, how to access the properties and behavior of an object by simply mentioning the object name. Okay, so let's do that. Print in bracket s1 dot id. Now my compiler is okay with this.
Yes.
Now my compiler will go in the s1 and then it will try to access the value of id, right? Now s1 dot study. Now it is sorted, guys. Which function I need to call? Yes, right? So this is how we can the access the properties and functions of object. Properties and function of object, and this is the way. I hope everyone is getting now what we are doing here. What is this s1? Why we have written s1 here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
more or
All
less?
right.
Is it more or less like accessing the library?
No, for library we need to import that, right? Then we need to, you know, if we use the second method like from this, then there is no need to refer this, right? We are just giving an reference, guys. Go here s1 and access the id. We cannot compare that with the import. Import is the different, you know, scenario where it will be loading all the things in the memory and then other stuffs. Here just we are, you can say like this is the reference we also give in the importal, right? Or maybe in accessing the modules or this one. Okay, any doubt, any concern? You can, we haven't
Uh,
seen any, you know, code or anything. We'll be seeing that how we are going to implement all these things. It is very simple. If you understood all these things, then object oriented programming is very, you know, simple for you all guys.
so
Yeah,
if
the
suppose if
it's
you have a two classes,
mhm.
two classes is there, then how we'll call that? We need to add the class name dot the object name.
Like class, can you give a one simple example? Suppose I am having two classes,
Yeah, yeah.
student and other one means which one? Employee.
Uh, Employee or department kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, so employee. So we will be having different, you know, block for employee, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we will be creating an object like e1 e2 e3 kind of.
Hmm.
It depends on, right, like which object we'll be creating.
So
But
do you need, my question is, do you need to call the, like, to printer or some s1 dot study in place of that? Can we just, do you need to add the student dot s1 dot study or only s1 dot study
no, no,
in
no,
a single
only
program?
s1. Only
Okay,
s1 dot study is enough. Okay, because when we create two different classes, the you know, the memory will be, you know, separated. Like there will be a different memory for both the classes.
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, any other question? Okay, Safa.
So can for two different students there can be same properties?
Two different students can have same properties. Yes, suppose if the properties are common. Okay, we will come to that particular part also. That will be the next, or maybe next to next topic. Suppose s1 and s2 holding same kind of property, then those property will be defined inside the class itself. For example, college name. Okay, college name is the same for all the object. Are you agree? So we'll be writing here xyz. This is the common. So this college name is same for s1, s2 and s3, and this college name property will be, you know, accessible to every s1, s2 and s3. Okay, and it can be accessed using class name dot college name, in this way. That we are going to see. Okay.
Okay, sir, got it.
Yeah, this is called a class variable. Okay, or a static variable, but that we will talk later. I'm giving this name a common property and these are the private one. Okay. All right. So any other single question?
No, sir.
So in this case, but we don't can't we have the same value for the ID now?
We can have the same value for ID. Okay. So you are saying like s1 dot id, then it will give 1. Okay. So let us consider for this id also you are having value 1. Then anyway, like we are accessing s2 dot id, right? So there is no concern about the values.
Sir, how can ID be same? It's
Yeah. So how can actually there are two different student and two different students should have the different ID.
Yeah, that is like completely logical part. But what I'm saying, you can control that, right? You can control, like we can't have the same value for id, but definitely we can have the same value because we are referring that id from different names. Like s1 dot id is the different like than s2 dot id, because s1 holding another memory location, s2 is
Here,
holding
Amit,
another
objects are
memory
actually
location.
different. Instance are different. So ID
Definitely.
is same. That
Okay.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, instance
Yes, I
is
got it.
different. Yeah, just a second, guys. Yeah, give me a 2 seconds, guys, like someone is on there. Yeah.
Hello, I cannot hear anything. Hello.
Amit, you know, mute here.
Amit sir, are you on mute?
Yeah, he told that he will come back in few seconds. Someone is there at his door.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry guys, so let's continue. Safa, are you there? Safa. Okay. All right. So I think yes, is there. Let's start. Uh, okay. Let's move towards actual practical implementation of this. Okay. So let's go ahead in this and start writing. Let me just finish this collection of the properties and functions. Syntax, we can write the syntax here, like class, um, let's say student. Okay, class, always follow the this kind of, we can say, there is a way to write, guys, the name of the class, or name of the object, name of the function. So always remember, class name starts with capital letter. This is not compulsory, but always follow this kind of things. Then give the indentation. So we are started with the class, and then here you will have first properties. Properties means variables. Variables. Okay, we'll be having here variables, then we will be having here functions. We'll be having here functions. So this is what the class is, guys. So in this particular section, we'll be defining some variables, we'll be defining some functions as well. So there are some types of variables, functions. We'll be learning that later, but definitely we'll be writing these variables and functions inside the class. Okay, let's write one simple class. This is the syntax. Now let's write this class student, and then I'm defining, this is class description. This is class description. Okay, uh, this class is first demo class. Okay, now, and then I'm just writing nothing. Pass means what? If I don't have any logic to write, then I will be writing pass here. That means yet we haven't decided any logic, but onwards, maybe after some time, we'll be writing some logic. Okay, that allow us to write empty class or empty function, whatever it is. So this is what my first class is. Let us execute this. Now my class is ready, guys. Let us check the dir for student. What other stuffs are related to our class? Can you see, like here, some of the inbuilt things are there. Let us use double underscore dog double underscore, I think, yeah, this one. Okay, double underscore dog double underscore means what? It's an public variable, guys. Always remember, anyone, anywhere we can use that. So let us say student dot this one double underscore dog double underscore. Okay, sorry, here is, can you see now what it has printed? What is this? Yes, anyone?
Description.
Class description.
But you remember, like where we have written this. Okay, in triple quote we have written this, right? And this is actually the meaning of, triple quote.
Means it will include a new line.
Yeah, it also included what? The new line. So actually the meaning or use of triple quote is to write the description of classes, okay, or functions. So always remember, as a developer you must have to write, the documentation of every single line of code that you are writing. And here the way you can write the description of your class, that means what this class is doing exactly. Okay, and that other developer can access using which variable, guys? Which variable? Student dot double underscore doc double underscore. Double underscore before and after means this is an public variable. Public variable means anyone can access it. Okay, anyone can access it. This is what the public variable is. Okay, you can just go ahead and write down this and check at your end.
So these are the inbuilt function of the class
Yes,
student.
these are the inbuilt functions of the class. Okay, onwards we will be encounter with all these functions one by one, definitely. Okay, but yeah, this is the inbuilt one.
So, but here the student is a user defined class, no?
Yeah, so we have created this class, right? So we have created, that means one object has been created inside the memory, right? And which
Yes.
is the class, and that's why it has allocated all these, functions to this particular
Okay.
student.
Okay, sir.
We have executed this, and that's why we are getting this. For example, let's see, I am writing here employee dot double underscore dog double underscore. It will say just employee is not defined. Can you see employee is not defined? But when we create the class, okay, let us create class employee, and then I'm just pass. I will execute this, and now you can see everything will be there for this. Let us print it.
Sir, what doc function done?
It gives us the description.
Means if we print anything inside class, it will display that.
Inside class, no. Like, can you see that I have defined in that double quote, triple quote, that it is going to display the description, documentation of this particular class. So every developer does this, like whatever it is, implementing, he or she has to write the description here, what the class is doing, okay, which function is for what, okay, which variable is doing what kind of description you have to write here itself, so that other can access this for their own references using doc variable. Okay,
So here, this is class description. There, it is added with a slash and backslash and
yeah, so can you see, like, I have written this particular statement, okay, and after that the next statement is in the next line, right? So
yes.
next line, so how it is defining next line? So next line means slash n. Next line means what? This is the next statement will be like the next line.
Hmm.
Okay, so if we are removing this space, and then if you're writing like this, now you just check how it is behaving. There will not be a slash n now.
Sir, is it mandatory to mention the class description?
No, it is not mandatory, but it's a good practice.
Slash
Okay, sir.
or next line next slash n same line slash n next line.
Okay, please mute if you're talking among you. All right, so Maksud, pass is like the statement which is doing nothing, okay, which allow us to write the empty class, which allow us to write, the empty function. Let's say I don't have right now anything to implement. I am just defining the skeleton of the class. For example, class person. Okay, I don't have anything to write. If I just write like this, it will raise an error. Can you see? It's an incomplete input. But if I just write here pass means do nothing, and it will execute. It's not the ending, but it says like nothing to write here at this particular time. Developer will come and then write it. It just allow us to define the empty class. Okay, we cannot write empty class, but if you want to write it, then just go ahead and use plus. All right, any other question?
Doc is a documentation about that class.
Yes, exactly. Okay, any other question? So
So
should we
classes
go
I
ahead?
have seen in C and Java. I had asked this in chat window.
Yeah, what is
Is it
that?
similar like?
Is it similar like Java? Yeah. The concept is same, Mahesh. Okay, just an implementation syntax will be different. Okay.
Yes, sir, got it.
Everywhere the object oriented concepts will be same, just the way of writing is different. That's it.
It is
Okay,
much
any?
easier in Python.
Yeah, it is easy in Python, right? But Python is not purely object oriented programming. Okay, keep this in mind.
Sir.
Yeah. Okay, I hope you understood the overall idea about now object oriented programming, right? Let's go ahead and write something about this. Okay, so now what we'll be doing is we'll be learning about constructors, as someone mentioned, right? Constructor. Okay, so let me go back. Can you see my screen, guys, here? The paint.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Let us consider when we initialize the class. Okay, when we initialize the class and user haven't mentioned any value there. Okay, user haven't mentioned any value. So what will be the value for these properties? What will be the values for this particular properties? And we cannot keep these values as a blank. Agree?
Default values.
Default values, yes, we can assign the default values, or we cannot keep it as blank, right? We need to assign some values to it, right? Either default or other values. And constructor is used to assign the initial values to the properties. Okay, what is the use of constructor? It is used to initialize the object. It is used to initialize the object. It is used to initialize the object. It is used to or give the initial values to the object variables. Understood what is the task of constructor, guys? Any question? Someone saying constructor, right? Previously. So constructor is nothing but it is used to initialize the object or give the initial values to the object variable. Okay, in Python we write double underscore init double underscore is the only one constructor in Python. Is the only one constructor in Python The variation of this is like double underscore init, double underscore, this is one variation, double underscore init, double underscore, and here parameters, this is another variation. These are the two ways to write the constructor. Okay, we'll be learning that, but just keep this in mind. Okay, so Mahesh, like you said, whether it is same in Java or C++,
Yes, sir.
in Java and C, we are not writing like this, right? The class name itself will act as a constructor in Java or C++, right? But
Yes, sir.
here we are having what? Double underscore init, double